Imagine opening the door of a hen house and seeing unusual chickens, creatures that seem to have come straight out of a fantasy book. Feathers as black as night, tails over 10 meters long, eggs of an impossible blue color, and look so piercing that they seem to belong to another time. On this journey, you will discover 15 of the most exotic, rare, and beautiful chickens in the world. Get ready, because what you are about to see is not just nature. It is living art, history, and mystery. 1. Ayam cimani, Indonesia. In the vast diversity of the animal kingdom, few creatures evoke as much mystery as the ayam cimani, native to Indonesia. At first glance, it seems to have come out of a dark fairy tale or an ancient myth. Absolutely everything about it is black. Its plumage shimmers with a metallic sheen reminiscent of obsidian. Its skin is black, its tongue is black, even its flesh, bones and internal organs are colored this deep shade. This rarity is due to a genetic phenomenon known as fibromelanose, a mutation that increases the amount of pigment throughout the body. However, it does not cause any harm to the chicken. On the contrary, it makes it a unique symbol, so strange that in many places it is considered an almost magical animal. In the traditions of the Jews, the ayam cimani was not just a chicken, it was a living amulet. It was believed to bring good luck, prosperity, and protection from evil spirits. For centuries, these birds were given to kings and nobles as a symbol of power and prestige. Today, the ayam cimani is one of the most exclusive and expensive chicken breeds on the planet. One individual can cost fabulous money on the international market, not because of the eggs or meat it produces, but because of the charm that its supernatural appearance evokes. Watching ayam cimani stroll through the yard is like watching a shadow with wings. Each feather glistens green and purple in the sunlight, as if it were made of polished metal. Her very presence seems to defy the laws of the ordinary. Ayam cimani. This is not just any chicken, she is a living enigma, combining the biological with the mythical. And in the realm of exotic birds, there is no other like her. 2. Silky China. If there is a chicken that can break all stereotypes, it is the silky, native to China. At first glance, she seems anything but a domestic bird. Her plumage is not made of stiff feathers like other chickens, but of soft, fluffy fibers, reminiscent of the wool of an Angora rabbit or a ball of cotton wool come to life. This unusual appearance makes her a real visual spectacle, but the most amazing thing is revealed when we get closer. Selkies are different not only in appearance. Underneath that silky coat, she hides dark blue, almost black skin, which makes her look even stranger and more mesmerizing. And the surprises don't end there. While most chickens have 4 toes, the stilettos on each foot have 5. A rare genetic trait that makes her even more unique. It's as if nature decided to play with her, giving her traits that break all the rules of the chicken coop. However, it's not her appearance that captivates those who know her, but her temperament. The Selkie is easygoing, calm, and surprisingly affectionate. So much so that many call her the chicken coop cat. It's not uncommon to see her following people, allowing herself to be petted, and even enjoying human contact as if she were a pet. In ancient China, this chicken held a special place in traditional medicine. Its meat, also dark, was considered nutritious and even healing, being part of soups and special dishes, which were prepared to restore strength or improve health. Today, Silkie is one of the most beloved ornamental chickens in the world. Its cute and extravagant appearance, as well as its friendly character, made it the star of poultry shows and an inseparable companion in many homes. 3. Polish, Poland. Of all the ornamental chickens on the planet, few are as eye-catching as Polish, the feathered pearl of Poland. It is enough to look at it once to never forget it. Instead of a regular comb, this chicken wears a real plume of feathers, which covers its head like a beaver wig. Its silhouette resembles a 15th-century nobleman with a disheveled but elegant hairstyle, as if he had just stepped out of an old painting. This extravagant hawkologist is not just decoration. In fact, these are modified feathers that have been selected for centuries by European breeders fascinated by their theatrical appearance. Amusingly, this plumage, growing in all directions, sometimes partially obscures her vision, which is why the hen may move with some awkwardness or suddenly become frightened. Despite this, the Polish is calm, docile and, surprisingly, sociable. She can often be seen at poultry shows, where her unmistakable hairstyle attracts all eyes. Moreover, in many competitions, it is not so much the size or egg production that matters, but the volume and shape of this extravagant plume that has made her famous throughout the world. There are varieties of different colors: snow white, black with a metallic sheen, gold with speckles and even silver. Each of them seems to be created for a different stage, as if they were characters in a living theater. Historically, the Polish was so prized that it quickly spread throughout Europe, even appearing in old paintings, where it appears as a symbol of distinction and sophistication. Today, this chicken continues to amaze those who see it. Its presence does not go unnoticed. A bird that seems to wear an impossible hairstyle, half aristocrat, half a joke of the henhouse. The Polish is, without a doubt, proof that in nature, too, there is room for humor and extravagance. 4. Onagadori, Japan. In the world of birds, no chicken is as impressive as the Japanese onagadori. This creature seems to defy the laws of nature with one detail that turns it into a legend. Its tail never stops growing. While other chickens molt, changing their feathers from time to time, the onagadori keeps its feathers throughout its life, and this allows it to reach seemingly impossible lengths. There are individuals with tails exceeding 10 meters, which drag behind it like a majestic veil, waving like a living flag. It is not surprising that Japan declared it a living national treasure. After all, this is not an ordinary chicken, but a real work of biological art. Raised with special care for more than 13 centuries, the ogadori was a symbol of prestige among feudal lords. And to this day, its quiches keep it in coops specially designed to protect the tails so that they do not get dirty or damaged. Caring for it is a whole ritual. Breeders build raised perches and even special structures so that the tails can hang freely without touching the ground. This process requires patience, dedication, and a respectful ceremonial attitude towards the bird. And this is because breeding ogadori is not just keeping a chicken, it is preserving a tradition that connects the present with the history of ancient Japan. Watching her walk is a hypnotic sight. Her small body contrasts with the endless cascade of feathers that trail behind her. Every movement is reminiscent of the costumes of kabuki actors, full of drama and elegance. The onagadori does not produce many eggs and is not famous for its meat. Its value is in the symbolism, in the visuality, in what it represents. The union between the hand of man and the miracle of nature. A chicken that seems out of this world, but which exists, alive and proud, like the most exotic jewel of Japan. 5. Dong Dao, Vietnam. In the villages of Vietnam lives a chicken that seems to have come from the pages of the oriental fable of Dong Dao, known as the dragon chicken. Just look at it to understand why. Its feet are so thick, rough and scaly that they seem to be carved from stone. Some specimens have limbs as thick as a human wrist, giving them an almost monstrous appearance, as if they had inherited the strength of a mythological creature. But beneath this strange appearance lies a highly coveted treasure. Dong Dao meat is considered a delicacy for the elite, reserved for emperors and high officials of the Vietnamese court for centuries. Its dense texture and rich flavor have made it such a luxury dish that today it can fetch astronomical prices in exclusive restaurants. However, breeding these birds is not an easy task. Their feet, so heavy and disproportionate, make them less agile than other breeds. Therefore, they require special care and suitable places to move, so as not to hurt themselves. In addition, they grow more slowly, which further increases their rarity and value in the market. Dong Dao is not only a gastronomic symbol, but also a cultural emblem. In many Vietnamese villages, it is bred as a source of local pride, a living legacy that connects new generations to centuries-old traditions. And although its fame has now spread beyond Asia, it is in its homeland that it is most revered. To contemplate the Dong Dao is to see a hybrid animal. Half chicken, half dragon. A strange and powerful creature that reminds us how nature, guided by the hand of man, can create creatures as unusual as they are fascinating. 6. Sultan Turkey. In the heart of the ancient Ottoman Empire, a chicken was born that was bred not for eggs or meat, but to decorate the palace gardens. Its name speaks for itself. The sultan is an ornamental bird that always seems to be dressed for a celebration. Its snow-white plumage exudes purity and majesty. At first glance, it shines, as if wearing an embroidered silk outfit. But what really sets it apart are its unique details. A plume of feathers on its head, reminiscent of a crown, an elegant beard under its beak. And, like the Yui, 5 toes on each foot, while most chickens have only 4. Every feature seems to have been carefully considered to emphasize its nobility. In the gardens of the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, the presence of these birds was part of the visual spectacle. They strolled among fountains, mosaics and lush trees like living jewels, symbols of luxury and sophistication. They were the companions of the nobility, treated almost like exotic treasures, a reflection of the sophistication of the Ottoman court. In addition to its elegance, the sultan is a docile, calm and easy-to-handle chicken. Therefore, even today, it remains a favorite at poultry shows. Its ethereal appearance makes it an inevitable star at any bird beauty contest. Although she is not a good egg producer and certainly not an outstanding source of meat, Sultan has demonstrated that the value of an animal is not always in its practical use, but in the emotions it evokes. Her mere presence transforms a simple henhouse into a palace setting. Sultan is certainly proof that nature knows how to dress up too, and that some chickens were not created for the farm, but for royalty. 7. Seabright comes from England. This little wife belongs to the dwarf group of chickens, but her small size does not prevent her from standing out as one of the most spectacular birds ever created. What makes her unique is the amazing pattern of her plumage. Each feather has a perfectly outlined black edge, as if it were hand-embroidered by a master. The contrast between the bright colors, be it gold or silver, and this dark edge creates a hypnotic visual effect, almost like a living mosaic. It is no exaggeration to say that the Seabright looks more like a piece of jewelry than an animal. The history of this chicken is also fascinating. It was bred in the early 19th century by Sir John Seabright, a British aristocrat obsessed with selection. His goal was not to get more eggs or meat, but to bring beauty to perfection. After many years of careful crossbreeding, this miniature and dazzling breed was born, which quickly became a status symbol at poultry shows in England. Curiously, the Seabright is one of the few chicken breeds in which both the male and female have exactly the same type of plumage. Most birds have more colorful roosters than hens, but with this breed, aesthetic equality is absolute. Both sexes are equally spectacular, which increases their attractiveness. It is not a good dry or productive breed, but no one breeds it for that. The Seabright exists to delight, to fill with color and grace any space in which it is located. Her mere presence is a reminder that animal husbandry can also be an art form, and that even a chicken can become an aesthetic treasure. 8. Frizzle. Asia, all of Europe. Of all the curious hens on the planet, the frizzle seems to have been struck by lightning. Her plumage, instead of lying flat like most birds, curls outward and upward, giving her a permanently electrified appearance. It's as if nature had decided to give her an impossible hairstyle, a crazy mane that instantly makes her the star of any henhouse. This special trait is caused by a dominant gene that alters the structure of the feathers, causing them to curl in the opposite direction to their normal curls. The result is a bird that looks like it just came out of a storm, with a ruffled body and an appearance that is as extravagant as it is charming. There are individuals of all colors: white, gold, silver, and even spotted, each with its own electric effect. The frizzle has been bred for centuries in various parts of Asia and Europe, and soon it became a special attraction at poultry shows. There, its plumage is the center of everyone's attention. However, the same trait that makes it so flashy also makes it more delicate. Since the feathers are not as tightly attached to the body, they do not protect as well from cold and rain. Therefore, it requires more care than the common chicken. Interestingly, despite its eccentric appearance, the frizzle has a calm and docile nature. It is not uncommon for it to become a favorite of breeders looking for ornamental birds that combine rarity and friendliness. Watching a frizzle walk is like seeing a small animated cloud, a creature that seems to defy the law of gravity with every feather. Further proof that even in the most ordinary corners of nature, creatures can appear that seem to be created to surprise us and make us smile. 9. Araucana, Chile. In the south of Chile, among volcanoes and mountain ranges, lives a chicken that has earned a place in history thanks to an amazing detail. The Araucana, known throughout the world for laying intense blue-green eggs. These eggs look like little jade jewels, so different from the usual white and brown that for centuries they were considered a real treasure. The origin of this unique feature is genetic. The Araucana carries a gene that deposits biliverdin, a natural pigment, in the eggshell. The most curious thing is that this color is not only on the surface, it goes through the entire shell. So even the inside retains this characteristic bluish tint. This phenomenon is not found in any other chicken breed in South America, which makes the Araucana a unique bird on its continent. But its peculiarities do not end there. The Araucana lacks a tail, a feature that gives it a compact and somewhat strange appearance compared to other breeds. In addition, on the sides of her head, she has tufts of feathers that look like mustaches or sideburns, as if she were wearing an indigenous headdress. This detail is directly related to her history, as the breed is associated with the indigenous Mapuche people, who bred it long before the arrival of Europeans. And the Araucana is much more than a laying hen. She is a living piece of Chilean history and culture. A bird that carries the very color of the extraordinary in her feathers and eggs. 10. Brahma, India, China. In the universe, the Brahma towers over the likes of a truly calm giant. This bird, the result of crossbreeding in India and China, is so impressive that upon closer inspection it seems more like a fantastic creature than a simple inhabitant of the henhouse. Some individuals reach more than 5 kilograms in weight and almost half a meter in height, which makes it one of the largest chicken breeds in the world. Her posture inspires respect. The body is wide, the chest is prominent, and the legs are covered with feathers, as if she were wearing stuffed pants. She walks calmly and elegantly, giving the impression that nothing can disturb her. For this reason, many also call her the Queen of the Chicken Coop, a title that seems to have been created for her. The Brahma's plumage is another of her charms. It can be light, dark, or reddish, always with a pattern that emphasizes her majestic volume. When she moves in the sun, it seems that she is wearing a royal mantle that envelops her in solemnity. In the 19th century, the Brahma was brought to Europe and the United States, where it caused a real sensation not only because of its extraordinary size, but also because it was perceived as a symbol of prestige. Breeders and collectors competed for the most spectacular individuals, and soon it became an icon of poultry shows. Although it can lay large, quality eggs, its true value is not in its utility, but in the impression it makes. Keeping a Brahma in your backyard means owning an impressive, yet docile and peaceful animal that lives in harmony with other birds. 11. La Flèche, France. In the heart of France, in the Loire region, lives a chicken that seems to have stepped out of the pages of a medieval bestiary, the La Flèche. Its name means arrow, but its appearance has earned it the much more sinister nickname of the Devil's Horns. What makes it so recognizable is its comb. Instead of the typical scalloped shape of other breeds, its comb is divided into two sharp protrusions that rise like real black horns. This strange crown, combined with its dark, glossy, silky plumage, gives it an almost demonic appearance, as if it were a bird destined for ancient legends and rituals. The Lefche is a very old breed, with origins dating back to at least the 15th century. At a time when superstition was part of everyday life, it is not hard to imagine that an animal with such an appearance inspired as much fear as admiration. Some considered it a symbol of strength, others an ominous omen, and still others saw it as an animal associated with witchcraft. But behind its mysterious appearance lies a high-quality chicken. The Lefche is prized for its tender and tasty meat, which has been served at French aristocratic banquets for centuries. However, its breeding requires patience. It is an active, somewhat nervous bird that loves open spaces, so it does not adapt well to small coops. Today, this breed is a rarity that survives thanks to passionate breeders who strive to preserve its mouth. Seeing it at a show is like contemplating a living fragment of the Middle Ages, an echo of a time when animals mixed with myths and hidden symbols. 12. Yokohama, Japan, Aichi, Germany. Among the most spectacular ornamental birds on the planet, the Yokohama stands out, a chicken with a small body, but with such a long and majestic tail that it seems to have been created for the catwalk. Its slender figure and impeccable plumage have made it one of the undisputed stars of poultry shows. The Yokohama has a curious origin. Although its name is Japanese, it was actually bred in Germany in the 19th century. It all began when long-tailed chickens were imported from Japan, inspired by the mythical anagador. European breeders, fascinated by their elegance, began to improve them. Thus was born a breed adapted to Western tastes, but filled with Eastern exoticism. In well-groomed specimens, its tail can easily exceed 2 meters in length. These long silky feathers do not cascade as if it were a ball gown. Each movement is slow and ceremonial, as if the bird knows that all eyes are on it. Most striking is the contrast between its miniature body and the immensity of its tail. This disproportion gives it a theatrical, almost unreal appearance that fascinates both breeders and spectators. It does not lay many eggs or stand out for its meat, but this was never its purpose. The Yokohama was created to be admired, a perfect example of how selective breeding can transform an ordinary animal into a living spectacle. At shows, the Yokohama always attracts attention. Its elegant posture, its white plumage with reddish reflections and its endless tail make it look more like a porcelain figurine than a living creature. Even when walking, it gives the impression of participating in a carefully staged fashion show. In essence, the Yokohama is a work of art with feathers. A bird that is measured not by productivity but by beauty, and that reminds us how far the human passion for animal aesthetics can go. 13. Phoenix, Japan, Germany. In the world of ornamental birds, there is a chicken that bears the legendary name of Phoenix, a direct descendant of the mythical Japanese anagadori. At first glance, it is easy to understand why it received this name: its elongated silhouette, proud posture, and above all, the tail of endless feathers reminds us of a mythological creature reborn from its own ashes. Unlike the ogdory, whose feathers can reach an impossible length of over 10 meters, the phoenix was bred in Germany to retain the same elegance but in a more practical and manageable form. Its tails, although long and showy, do not require such extreme maintenance. This has made it a more accessible breed, which has quickly become popular in shows and competitions around the world. The phoenix can come in a variety of colors, although the combination of white and gold or white and red is the most stunning. In the sunlight, its feathers seem to glow like liquid fire, reinforcing the connection with the myth of the immortal bird. Most mesmerizing is the way it moves. Straight, light and majestic, as if it knows that all eyes are on it. Its small body contrasts with the long tail that trails behind it, creating a visual effect that captivates anyone who observes it. To gaze upon the phoenix is to witness a natural spectacle perfected by human skill. This is no ordinary chicken, but a creature that seems to be reborn in every generation, reminding us that beauty, too, can be immortal. 14. Pavlovskaya, Russia. In the cold expanses of Russia, a winged jewel has survived, almost forgotten by time. The Pavlovskaya is one of the oldest breeds of chicken in the country and, according to some experts, one of the oldest in the world. Its origins date back to the 15th century in the village of Pavlova, from which it takes its name. And since then, it has become a symbol of local pride. What sets it apart at first glance is its plumage. Each feather is speckled with a golden or silver sheen, reminiscent of the work of a jeweler. When it moves in the light, the Pavlovskaya seems to be wearing armor made of liquid gold. A visual spectacle that has earned it fame among nobles and peasants alike. Added to this is the fluffy crest on its head, which gives it a playful and elegant look, almost like an old-fashioned hat. But its history has been complicated. After the Russian Revolution and the social changes of the 20th century, the Pavlovskaya was forgotten. The breed was on the verge of extinction, reduced to a few individuals scattered across farms and nurseries. For decades, it was thought that it was lost forever, until a group of passionate breeders took on the mission of saving it in the 1990s. Thanks to them, the Pavlovskaya was reborn as a treasure rescued from the ashes. Today, it remains a rarity, but also a symbol of resilience. It is prized not only for its beauty, but also for its ability to withstand harsh winters thanks to its unpretentiousness. Breeding a Pavlovskaya is like owning a living piece of Russian tradition, a direct link to a past in which birds were not just farm animals, but cultural emblems. 15. Malay, India, South Asia. Of all the chicken breeds in the world, there is one that commands immediate respect. The Malay game, native to South Asia, is considered the tallest chicken on the planet. It can reach up to 1 meter in height, making it look like a giant bird compared to its more common relatives. Its posture is erect and muscular, with a long, strong neck that is reminiscent of prehistoric birds. Many breeders describe it as a chicken with the gaze of a velociraptor. And one look at its piercing eyes and sharp profile is enough to understand why. It is like looking at a living relic of a distant time, a creature that seems to have stepped straight out of the dinosaur era. The Malay game is not just tall, it is also strong and powerful. Its body is covered in solid muscle, and its slow but confident gait conveys authority in the chicken coops. For centuries, it was bred in India and other parts of South Asia, not so much for its productivity, but for its impressive appearance and strong temperament. In some places, it was even used in exhibition fights, although in reality, it was its physical uniqueness that set it apart. Curiously, despite its fearsome appearance, the Malayan game can be relatively calm if kept in the right conditions. However, it always retains that alert and dominant look that intimidates any intruder. The Malayan game is, in fact, the giant queen of the bird world. A living reminder that evolution still holds secrets that can surprise us. An animal that fills not only the henhouse, but also the imagination of those who contemplate it. Yeah,